Hello again everybody, welcome back. In this part, we're going to talk about operators and arithmetic in JavaScript. So here I have my index.html which has linked to this index.js, and these are opened by browser right here, which here I have my console. First thing that we're going to talk is our assignment operator. So we already learned that we can define some variables by our equal assign mark. So here let's say here we have A with the value of 16 and then B with the value of maybe 8. Now we assign these numbers and these values to these variables. Another thing that we can do with this is we can add these values and other things together. So first let's console log our variables to see them. Here we have A and then B. And here if I refresh my page, you can see that we have 16 and 8 right here. And let's open this console in separate window and put this right here. Now let's say we want to add A and B together. So we can use our plus sign right here, and now if I use B right here, you can see if I refresh the page, we get the total value. And let's say here we have another value of 2 right here. So if I change this to the C and refresh the page, you can see we got that right here. Then after this, of course, in some cases, we want subtraction. And if we want to have that, we simply use this mark right here. And if I refresh the page, you can see we got that right here too. And if we subtract one value, for example, let's say B right here, and subtract 16 from that, you can see that here we can have negative values. After this, we're going to have our multiplication, which here you can see if I have, for example, B right here, and I want to multiply it with C, I can use this star right here, and here I should get the result as you see. And of course, we can have anything that we want. Let's say we want A and make this C actually. And if I refresh the page, you can see that we can have this one. And then we have our exponentiation, which here we can have double star right here. And if we want to make, for example, 8 to the power of 2, here we can use B, for example, right here. And then here we need to have double star right here, and then what power that we want. And here you can see if I refresh the page, we're going to have that value. And of course, we can have all of other values going on. And then after this, we're going to have our division, which is the simple slash right here. And let's say we want to divide 16 with our C, which is 2 right here, which here we should have the value of 8. But let's say here, instead of C, we have our second variable, which is our B right here. And if I refresh the page, you can see that we got 2 right here. But let's say here, we want to have this 19 and not the 8. And if I refresh here, you can see we're going to have these things, which is the exact division. This is going to be together and create our mod and reminder. So to get that, here we're going to use this percent symbol. And if I refresh the page, you can see that we have this 3 right here, which means here 16 is which we got. And after this, if we add those decimals together, we're going to have our 3, which is going to be equal to 19 again. After this, we're going to have another 2 operators, which are increment and decrement. So here, let's say we're going to target our third variable. And if I refresh the page, you can see that we got this 2 right here. If I want to increment this only by 1, I can use double plus sign here and refresh the page. You can see that we got this 3 right here. And of course, we can have the opposite of that, which is our decrement. And if I refresh this again, you can see that we have this one. And of course, we can have this multiple times in our code. And if I refresh, you can see this is going to be 3 here, 4 here, and 5 here. And here we're going to print that. And of course, we can have another printing somewhere like this. So when we refresh, you can see here it's 3, here it's going to be 4, 5, and then printing. Now let's delete these one, and let's say here we want to have our a to be maybe 3, and we want to assign our c variable based on a and b. So let's say here we want to have a plus b, and here we can have another values that we want. So first let's get this, which is 11, and actually let's make this 2. So here we get 10, and here you know that if I do this, I'm going to have one other increment in my c variable. But let's say I want to add the value of 2 again to my c variable. So I'm going to make this assignment right here and say I want the c that I have right here, which is 10, and add that to our a. So here what we're going to get is 12. And of course, after this, we're going to have some subtraction going on here. And if I refresh, you can see that we got that here and other values right here, like multiplication that you can see here, or our division, which is going to give us the value of 5, our mod, or all of other things going on. And of course, we're going to have power here too. But instead of these syntax, we can use other syntax, which is more easier. And here in the first, we give the variable that we want to work with that. And after that, in the operator part, we use plus and assignment and then our next value. And what is this is basically as same as this one. So if I comment this out first, give us the print, you see now here we got 12. And if I make this one work and refresh the page, again we're going to have this 12 right here. So this is how all of these going to be. Here we can use c plus and then assignment value to the a, and we can have the same thing for the subtraction, our multiplication, which is going to be star right here and here too. Then we're going to have our power, which is going to be double star right here, and then our division, which is going to be this slash right here and here. After this, we're going to have our mod and remain going on. And these are something like shorthand of doing these ones. And then after all of these, we're going to have our comparison operators. Let's say here we have value of a to be, let's say, 5 and b to be 2. And here we want to make the c our Boolean value. And here we can have our assignment right here. And after this, we're going to define our comparison right here and return the value to save in our c variable. So let's say here we want the statement of if a is larger than b. So as you see here, a is 5 and b is 2. So this gives us the value of true. And here if I console log and print my c variable, you can see here if I refresh the page, we got the true value. And of course, if we have the opposite of 1, we should get the false. Another thing that we can have, let's say we have variable d right here, which is 5 again. Here we can use our a, and if we use two equal sign beside each other, it's going to be compare a with the d right here. If a equals to d, it's going to put true in the c, and if it's not, it's going to put false, which this is true right here. So here we get true. And if I have this to be, let's say, 6 and refresh the page, you can see that here we got false. And other value that we can have here is not true variable. So if we want to make this the opposite way, we can use this mark right here, and then after that this assignment mark. And here this exclamation mark is going to make this if A is not equal to D, it's going to give us the value of true, and if A equals to the D, it's going to give us the value of false. So here this is not equal. So we should get the true value right here. But if those are both the same and equal, because we're checking not equal right here, so we're going to have false right there. And another thing that we can have here is our greater than or equal sign, which is going to be if A is greater than D or A equal to D, we're going to get the value of true. Otherwise, which are D is greater, let's say here we have 8, it's going to give us false. And of course, if it's going to be 2, again, we're going to have this true going on. And we have this less than or equal to. So here, it's going to give us the value of false right here. But if D is going to be 5, it's going to give us the value of true. And if it's going to be, let's say, 89, it's going to be true again. Please give a like and subscribe to catch next videos.